Hello guys, Ho back with another video. Today I want to talk about the iPhone 12 and to see which iPhone is the best one for you. So I'll compare the different models today, going from the iPhone 12 to 12 Pro to 12 Pro Max. Obviously, we know the 12 Pro Max is technically the best phone because it's the biggest phone, as well as it has actually improved cameras and obviously the biggest battery. But we can make a case for each phone and see what's good and bad. Because, like, just because it's the biggest phone doesn't mean it's the right one for you. Just because it has all these camera features, you might not actually care about this as well. So let's go compare them and kind of see what this lineup of iPhone 12 has compared to the iPhone 11 predecessor. I want to talk about iPhone 12 Pro or 12's MagSafe capabilities. So they showed off the MagSafe today in their announcement. I think that might be the best feature of the new iPhone because the MagSafe comes with all these accessories like a wallet, as you can see. But there's other things they can actually do. You can put that little cover over top. You can charge it. You can probably use a tripod stand. You can do a lot of different things with it, and I think the amount of accessories that we'll see come out from a bunch of third parties that using this MagSafe will be really cool. I think it'll fundamentally change the way we use our iPhone, and I think that's really exciting. I think this is basically the best feature of the new iPhone, not even like all the different camera updates. I think this is actually the biggest feature. So they showed off the MagSafe. This actually can be used with not just on the phone, but you can actually have a case and still charge your phone, as well as you can clip on the MagSafe stuff. So it's kind of cool how there's different cases you can just snap on and off easily, and you don't really have to struggle to put on your case and take it off. You can put it on whenever you want. You can change them as fast as you want as well. All right, so we have the iPhone 12 on the left, the 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max on the right. So it goes from cheapest to most expensive, and the iPhone 12 mini is basically the same as the 12, just smaller. So when it comes to the starting prices, we have 800, 1,000, and 1,100, right? And actually, the 12 and the Pro are actually the same size, and the Pro Max is bigger. And the 5G is kind of like the selling point for the new phones. Like, I get all the stuff they're advertising, but I feel like in the real world, you're not going to get that. I mean, my current iPhone 10s doesn't even get that speed. That's the theoretical max that you can get from like 4G or 5G, whatever they want to call it. So I wouldn't upgrade your phone just for 5G because it's probably too early and the infrastructure is probably just not there. Anyways, so we talked about cameras, and the 12 Pro has the extra telephoto over the iPhone 12, and because of the extra telephoto, you have better optical zoom range. So if you want that telephoto camera, get the 12 Pro. I can tell you from my experience with the telephoto camera, I don't really use it that much. It's okay, but there's a reason why they took off the telephoto camera of the 12 and put the ultra wide because telephoto is really not that important. It's okay. And of course, we know that the 12 Pro Max actually has a better telephoto than just the 12 Pro. That's why you can achieve 5x optical zoom because it zooms in more because it has a longer focal length. And then, of course, the differentiating factor of like a 12 and 12 Pro's LiDAR scanner. I honestly, they didn't really show much to say it's for next level AR experiences. They didn't really show much about it, so I'm not sure how great that is going to be. I'm sure a lot of people don't. And then one of the most interesting things about their presentation today is actually the ceramic shield front that they have for the glass, and that's supposed to make it 4x better drop performance. So I can't wait to see a bunch of drop tests for the phones, but to see if it kind of lasts longer or can sustain the drop test. And then of course, when you upgrade to the Pro models, you actually get stainless steel versus just aluminum. So there's kind of better build quality for the phone if you upgrade. And of course, we talked about MagSafe earlier. And actually, the starting capacity is something you have to know. The iPhone 12, although it starts at $800, it's 64 gigabytes. But if you want more gigabytes, I think it's probably going to be like $50 more for 128. So you're looking at a phone that's like 850 versus a phone that's $1,000. And like that range is like only $150 range. So like it gets kind of smaller. Is it really worth it for you to 12 Pro maybe instead of getting the iPhone 12? So that's something to think about because I don't really think 64 gigabytes is enough for a phone, especially when tout all the new capabilities of shooting like HDR and everything on your video and shooting at 60 FPS. It's just like it's gonna run through your data like crazy. Another thing that's worse about the iPhone 12, which I don't think that matters that much, is your screen doesn't get as bright. Honestly, it doesn't make a difference for people. They're all like splash, water resistance. They have the same chip, so even if you have a pro model, it's not like your phone's fast or anything. They're all the same speed. But that's the funny thing is, even though they're all the same speed, they do limit some of the capabilities of the iPhone 12, even though it uses the same chip. And we'll talk about that when we get to the video recording section. But now we can look at the different cameras that they have. Obviously, the Pro models come with the extra telephoto, and the apertures are all about the same. This one actually has a not as big aperture, surprisingly, but the sensor is also bigger, so it'll probably still be better. Because that's the one thing about the iPhone 12 Pro Max is that it has a bigger sensor, and that allows it to let in more light, so the low light photos will look better. And then another thing is Apple Pro Raw comes with the new Pro model. So the Pro actually means something this time. And I think the Apple Pro Raw, if you're like want to be like a photographer, you want to do like Instagram, and you want to edit your photos, I think the Apple Pro Raw will really, really make your images a lot better, and you'll see like less of those banding type of stuff when you edit photos and push them too far. And I think Apple Pro Raw is definitely really cool. And definitely, if you really want to edit your photos, iPhone 12 Pro actually is worth it. And then we have night mode portraits. I mean, they have night modes, maybe not in telephoto lens, which is the portrait mode, so that's okay. All right, so when it comes to video recording, we talked about the chip earlier and how they both use the same chip, but for some reason, the 12 can only shoot HDR video at 30 FPS, while the 12 Pro can shoot at 60 FPS. And they use the same chip, so there's no reason why they should have this artificial limit, except that Apple wants to sell more phones. That's the only thing I can think of, because that kind of sucks. And then, of course, the 12 Pro Max is the better phone because it has the better camera. It has more zoom capability. As you can see, it has actual optical zoom 2x, and this one has 2.5x, right? But another important thing to note, as well as the sensor stability. So you can see that this is the optical image stabilization video. This has it too, but this actually has censorship optical image stabilization for video. And that's kind of more like traditional cameras that actually has it moving. They show it in their presentation, and that's going to be even better stabilization. Of course, I'm going to say that the iPhone already has really good digital image stabilization, but the sensor shift will just take it another level. But I think the optical already is really, really good. And honestly, that's about it for the differences. Everything else is about the same. So in my opinion, I think the 12 Pro is definitely earns its keep as being the pro model because there's all these extra like Pro Raw sounds really cool, and they have more cameras, obviously. So if that's really your thing, the Pro is for pro users, and I think this year it makes more sense than previous years. And if you fall into one of those categories, I would say iPhone 12 Pro. But if you're just using your phone, you're gonna take pictures, you're not going to edit them, you're not gonna do anything insane, you're not really like a content creator, I think iPhone 12 is perfectly fine. And then you go for the iPhone Pro Max if you just want the best of the best. Of course, you're gonna have to pay the price for it, and it's also going to be the biggest phone you can have. But if that's what you want, then go for it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my video out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.